Dear friends, I wish you a holy Jubilee year 2025. The Jubilee year invites everyone to an intense experience of God's love. One of the special signs of the Jubilee year is the granting of indulgences to the faithful, a priceless gift of God's mercy. Now, why do we need indulgences? I'm sure that most of us are aware that mortal sin, unlike venial sin, breaks our relationship with God totally, leading to eternal separation from Him, resulting in eternal punishment if unrepented. Mortal sins as well as the venial sins are forgiven through the sacrament of penance or reconciliation. However, even after the sin is forgiven, it leaves behind vestiges or lingering effects of sin, which affect human nature, making it prone to sin. These include unhealthy attachments such as pride, egoism, etc. These effects need purification either in this life or in purgatory, which is termed as temporal punishment as opposed to the eternal punishment. An indulgence in the Catholic Church is a remission of the temporal punishment due to sin, whose guilt has already been given the Church as an inexhaustible spiritual treasury of the merits of Christ and the saints, which includes the prayers and the good works of the Blessed Virgin Mary, as well as the prayers and good works of all the saints. We find this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Numbers 1477 and 1478, which says, "An indulgence draws on this treasury of spiritual goods and applies it to reduce or eliminate temporal punishment due to sin. It is a way to express the trust in God's mercy and a commitment to conversion. The Church may grant either a partial or a plenary indulgence. A partial indulgence removes part of the temporal punishment, and a plenary indulgence removes all the temporal punishment, cleansing the soul as if the person has just been baptized. All members of the faithful can gain indulgences for themselves, or they can apply them by way of suffrage to the dead. The suffrages are the masses, the prayers, or acts of piety offered for the repose of the souls of the faithful departed. Canon 996, paragraph 1 states that to be capable of gaining indulgences, a person must be baptized and not excommunicated, and in a state of grace at least on the completion of the prescribed work. Hence, to be capable of gaining an indulgence, one must be baptized and not excommunicated, be in a state of grace, free from sin, perform the prescribed works such as praying, making a pilgrimage, or an act of charity. Have the intention to gain the indulgence. Intention is necessary to receive its benefits. Fulfill the necessary conditions of detachment from all sins, sacramental confession, Holy Communion, and prayer for the intentions of the Pope. These three intentions or conditions can be fulfilled a few days before or after performing the works to gain the indulgence, but it is appropriate that Holy Communion and prayer for the Pope's intention takes place on the same day that the work is completed. A single sacramental confession is sufficient for several plenary indulgences, but for each plenary indulgence that is sought, a separate Holy Communion and a separate prayer for the intentions of the Holy Father are required. The prayer for the intentions of the Holy Father is left up to the choice of the individual, but an Our Father and Hail Mary are suggested. For those of us here in the Archdiocese of Bangalore, what is given below are a few prescribed works that may be carried out easily in order to gain a plenary indulgence for the living or the dead. First, visiting the designated centers. One can obtain the Jubilee indulgence if individually or in a group they devoutly visit to go on a pilgrimage to the following designated places, such as St. Francis Xavier's Cathedral, Cleveland Town, St. Mary's Shrine, Basilica, Shivajinagar, Infant Jesus Shrine, Vivek Nagar, Our Lady of the Rosary Church, Harobale, Mother of Minds Church, KGF. We also have the 6 centers that are named as places where hope is dim to visit during this holy year. Home for the Aged, run by the Little Sisters of the Poor. Home for the Differently Abled by the Daughters of St. Camillus Sisters, located in Karmalaram. The Blind Children's School by the Jyoti Seva Sisters. Nirmala Shishu Bhavan by the Missionaries of Charity, Lingarajapuram. Kottalengo Convent by the Sisters of St. Joseph Benedict Kottalengo in Whitefield. Dina Seva Charitable Trust by the Sisters of Dina Seva Sabha, Servants of the Poor in Kottanuru. Sumanalli Society. Once there, they can obtain a plenary indulgence by devoutly participating in the Holy Eucharist or doing any of the following: engaging in Eucharistic adoration and meditation, concluding with Our Father, the profession of faith, and invocations to Mary, the Mother of God. Celebrating the Liturgy of the Hours, praying the Breviary, doing the Way of the Cross, praying the Marian Rosary or other prayers, reading the Word of God, meditating on it and applying it to one's life, performing the corporal works of mercy such as feeding the hungry, giving drink to the thirsty, etc. Engaging in spiritual works of mercy, such as comforting the afflicted, forgiving the offenses, etc. Acts of penance, such as fasting and various forms of abstinence. May we all enjoy a fruitful and holy Jubilee year 2025. God bless us all.